Consultants, and we are very fortunate to have Path, who is a registered migration agent as well. Welcome, girls, and welcome, Path. Thank you so much for giving your time. Guys, as we mentioned last time, our today's topic is IT courses. So, of course, every single time, as you guys know, that we usually talk about the different entry requirements. We talk about pathways, colleges, available intakes. We, of course, talk about any scholarships which universities or colleges are providing at this point of time, and then we take your migration questions as well. Feel free to give all your questions on our YouTube or Facebook live channel. We will try to take all those questions as we go along. As we said that we have migration agent to give you a proper migration advice as well at the same time. So feel free to provide your details or provide your questions, and we'll take them. Let's not waste any time. Let's start with the entry requirements. So Falguni, can you please tell us all the entry requirements for IT courses in Australia, please?
Sure, Mangarish. My name is Falguni, and I'm an education counselor, and I work at Aussizz Group Adelaide. So talking about the entry requirements, when it comes to the certificate level, basically year 11 or equivalent overseas studies, or a successful completion of, if we talk about certificate 4, a successful completion of certificate 3 in a related IT background is considered. And talking about the English, the overall score, it's either IELTS or any of your English should be 5.5 and not less than individual band 5. Going to diploma of IT, again, relevant, if you have a relevant certificate 3 or 4, that can work. A year 12 overseas or equivalent can work, and the English requirement is pretty much the same. Overall 5.5 and no band less than 5. Now jumping on to the Bachelors of IT, definitely you need to do a year 12 overseas or equivalent. The English requirement here is a little different. Overall 6 is the requirement with no band less than 5.5. And of course, if you have a prior diploma, that can be a pathway. Talking about the graduate diploma, of course, a 3 years bachelor's, either Australian or relevant overseas, and the English overall should be 6 and no band less than 6. So here, when we talk about the graduate, and in the future when I'm going to talk about the masters, there are few providers which can consider 5.5 individual bands as well. But again, that is subject to the university where you're going to apply. Now, the masters, again, it has relevant equivalent bachelor's degree, either Australian or overseas, and an English overall of 6 and not less than 6 again. But again, we can consider, depending on the provider, whether they can consider individual at least 2 modules with 5.5. Back to you, Mangarish.
Thank you so much, Falguni. Now, guys, as we said that we've covered the entry requirement. Of course, the next point which comes up is pathways. So there are different pathways, as you guys know, that once you finish different courses, what is the next point of studies, what you can do. So let's start with all the states, starting from, we'll of course start with Sydney. So Ravina, can you please tell us about Sydney?
Sure, Mangarish, thank you so much for this opportunity. So I'll start with the vocational courses. In terms of pathway, if a student has minimum year 11 or year 12, they can start with the certificate 3 that can lead them to certificate 4 in IT, cybersecurity, networking, if they have a specific interest in that area. Otherwise, for diploma, they need to have year 12, and that 1 year diploma can help them to moving to bachelors of information technology, information systems, or in other forms of IT. And if a student has already done their bachelor's, they can go for a master's program. But if they are not meeting the direct entry requirements for master's program, then they can go through a pathway with the graduate certificate or graduate diploma that will help them in getting admission to the respective programs. I would like to go to
Priyanka.
Priyanka.
Melbourne.
Sorry.
Thank you, Ravina, for this information. Hi, everybody. This is Priyanka from Aussizz Group Melbourne branch. So today we are here to discuss about IT. That is I think the most picked up course by the international students, and it has the most diversified pathways and the most diversified different sections in IT. So if we talk about the pathways over here, let's start with students who have done year 11 or 12. Just as Ravina already told us that those students can start with certificate courses and take in account about their entry requirements. And if they are qualifying for Diploma of IT, yes, they can directly enroll into Diploma of IT. And then Diploma of IT is mostly considered as the first year of Bachelor of IT. So generally, if a student is completing Diploma of IT, they can directly enter into second year of Bachelor of IT. Most of the universities have this thing with all their courses. So let's talk about let's say Latrobe University, RMIT, CSU. Most of the universities have this pathway with them. Like if a student is starting Diploma of IT, he or she can directly enter into second year of Bachelor of IT. So these are the pathways in Victoria and the universities which we can enroll a student into. Let's go over to the Falguni. You can talk about the pathways in Adelaide.
Thank you, Priyanka. So as I already mentioned during my entry requirements that if a student has completed year 11 or equivalent or year 12, they can go for their certificate 3 or 4, whichever is available to them. And then once they complete that, they can go ahead with diploma as a pathway. And a lot of times, similar with the diploma, if you've completed year 12 overseas, you can apply for your bachelor's. As Priyanka already mentioned, that when it comes to a diploma leading to a bachelor's degree, it's usually the second year that you enter for your bachelor's. Also, there's another program for especially for the master's students, the people who lack in their 1 or 2 modules when it comes to the English, they can also package their master's study with a graduate certificate or a graduate diploma. Definitely, you get the credits for the 6 to 7 months or the entire duration of the graduate certificate, and this can be an easier pathway towards your master's degree. I'll go back to Brisbane now. Manjeet, you can take over.
Thank you, Falguni. So I'm Manjeet, working as an education counselor at Brisbane branch. So I'm going to discuss about the pathways. For the Cert 3 and Cert 4, as already mentioned by the Falguni, year 10th and 12 is a entry requirement. And after that, for the bachelor, you can go for the diploma as well if you are not meeting the entry requirements for the bachelor. And if you completed the diploma, you can do the bachelor for the 2 years. I mean, you will directly enter to the second years of the bachelor. And for the master, every university have their own qualifying program, that is postgraduate qualifying program. You can do that if you are not meeting the entry requirements for the masters. And some universities have the tie-up with the colleges, like we have a college, National Institute of Education and Technology. They provide the diploma and they can package your course with the university, like they package your course with the Torrance University or Griffith University. So every university have their tie-ups to the colleges as well. You can start your course with the college and then can complete your degree in the university. So for the masters, if you are not meeting the entry requirements, you can go for the graduate certificate and graduate diploma. And then once you complete that, you will get direct entry into the masters. After that, I'll pass over it to the, I think, Diksha for the Darwin.
Sorry, Manjeet, you're on mute.
Sorry for that. Guys, when you're putting your questions, please mention it or elaborate it a little bit more. I've got a question coming from Syed. He's saying, what should I do after Masters of IT? Syed, if you're talking about migration or you're talking about education, if you can please put down your question clearly, we'll be able to answer that. Naman, can you please tell us the pathways in Perth or in Western Australia for that matter? And you're mute, so please remove that.
Thanks, Manjeet. So I would be representing Perth and starting with the pathways for IT courses in Perth. It starts with the certificate 4th in information technology, then diploma of IT, then advanced diploma leading to bachelor's, graduate diploma, and then master. So suppose you have done minimum year 11, you are eligible to start your IT course with certificate 4 leading to diploma and advanced diploma. Moving to bachelors, you can get the credits for your diploma and advanced diploma. And same coming to masters, if you have already done the graduate diploma, you will be enrolled in the second year of masters of IT courses. That's all about the pathways in Perth. So moving to Diksha, you can speak about now Darwin.
Thank you, Naman. So hi guys, my name is Deeksha. Even though I am based in Melbourne office, but I'm representing Darwin and Tasmania for everyone, because we do have partnerships in Darwin and Tasmania. So if you want to study in one of these, because these are the two hot favorite destinations right now, being regional. So if you really have queries related to these two cities, then you can definitely contact us. As I think most of the things are covered by my colleagues, that how you can get enrolled in a certificate or you can get enrolled in a diploma, especially for offshore students. I would say that if you're not meeting your English requirements, or if you're not meeting your percentage, like for example, if you don't have those 60% to get into a bachelor's directly, or you don't have that 6 bands to get into your bachelor's directly, right? So what you can do is you can choose this pathway of diploma of IT leading to a Bachelor of IT, which is offered in a lot of universities. So they're partnered with certain colleges. Sometimes they're partnered within their own colleges. And you can get enrolled, and then you don't have to worry about getting those percentage and all those things. All you have to do is do your 1 year of diploma and then 2 years of remaining bachelor's. That will also help you, because when it comes to a diploma level and a bachelor level, diploma level is much lower. So it helps you to get used to of Australian study system, and then you can obviously get go to bachelor's. Also, Manjeet mentioned a very good point, which is like pre-qualification degrees. So if you're again not meeting your entry requirement for direct masters, you can do something called MQP. It is basically pre-qualified masters. So what you are supposed to do, if you're not meeting the requirement, just study that for 1 year, and then you can directly go to a master. So that will, instead of studying 2 years, you'll be studying 3 years together, but then obviously it helps you to get enrolled into a master's degree. So I think most of the things have already been covered. So I'll pass back to you, Mangrish.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diksha. As we have migration agent who always have so many questions in our Facebook chats, Parth, I've got a question here from Lovepreet Multani. He's asking, after degree in IT, trade course is valuable for student in PR pathway. What's your take on that? Can you please tell us?
Yeah, sure. Actually, if you are looking at trade courses after master's degree, you can go for trade courses even during your master's degree. Is like you can study concurrent courses, multiple at a time. So if you wish to gain
Parth, sorry, just before you go ahead, can you please tell us what is concurrent? Because few of the students actually are not sure what the concurrent meaning is. So can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Concurrent studies are generally studies where if you are doing a primary course, which can be such as Masters of IT if you are doing, and if you thought of getting skills into some other occupation like any trade occupation as per our query, so if you can study Masters of IT at the same time, you can do another course, which is like suppose certificate 3 in commercial cookery. So you can continue, you can pursue both courses at a time, so that you can save some time, you can finish 2 courses at the same time. However, you have to make sure that the primary course which you are enrolled in, say Masters of IT, you are required to meet that course requirement. That means you have to maintain the progress for that course. You have to keep enrolled into that course. It's not like you are looking at other course and which you cannot generally study by leaving Masters of IT course, because your visa is granted on basis of you saying that you wanted to do a master's course. That's where you cannot leave the primary course aside and only do the secondary course which you are planning to do. Suppose you are required to, this is possible where if you are saying that you wanted to concurrently gain skills into multiple occupations such as like IT and then commercial cookery, as you are saying. So concurrently means at a time you are doing 2 or like multiple courses. So that is what the department is allowing, that you can study 2 courses at a time, and you can graduate with 2 courses at the same time. You can look at permanent residency into 2 different courses as well. Now, coming back to the question, if you have 2 choice, you can do concurrent study, that is during your master's degree itself, you can study a trade course, and you can look at permanent residency option through either Masters of IT courses, IT occupations, or you can look at trade course, the occupation based on the trade study which you have done. The second possible option you can have is once you complete your Masters of IT qualification, you are generally eligible for 2 years of work rights visa, temporary graduate visa, TR. And for that visa, during that visa, that will be for 2 years. In that 2 years, you can continue doing the trade course, which can be automotive or commercial cookery painting, whatever it is. Generally, most of the trade courses are, I mean, it can lead to multiple years of study as well. But then the minimum requirement in terms of permanent residency, you require at least 1 year of study, which is certificate 3 in particular occupation. Only for some occupations you might require certificate 4 or maybe diploma level qualification. Say suppose for a chef, if you wanted to become a chef, you require certificate 3, which is 1 year, and 6 months of certificate 4 as well. So in that case, you will have to study for 1.5 year. Or if you wanted to become early childhood teacher, childcare center manager, in that case, or childcare center lead educator, something like that, then you will have to complete a diploma as well. Otherwise, only certificate 3, which is 1 year course, if you complete that, then you can look at the permanent residency options through that. However, to apply for permanent residency into any of the trade occupations, you are required to complete 1 year of full-time experience post qualification, which is known as job ready program. So if you're looking at permanent residency option through trade courses, you have to make sure that you will have to invest at least 2 years of time. And that's where most of the time, if you complete your Masters of IT, suppose, and then you have 2 years of TR left, 2 years will be gone just completing 1 year study and having 1 year of job. So at the end, you might not have any time left to look at permanent residency options. So that's where you may look at studying concurrently so that you can save some time. So during your Masters of IT itself, suppose you can complete your 1 year study and you will have 2 years of TR left. So in that 2 years, you can study, you can work for 1 year, initial year, and then you can look at PR options accordingly.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pat. Lopreet, I hope we've tried to give you the answer what you're looking for. If you still have any further questions, feel free to get in touch with any of our Aussizz branches in Melbourne or any state for that matter. And we are more than happy to look into your particular case, because sometimes particular cases are different than the general advice. So we'll definitely be able to help you. Coming back to our IT courses, guys. So thank you so much. We've covered entry requirements. We've covered pathways. Let's talk about colleges and available intakes in every state. So starting from New South Wales, Ravina, can you please tell us the colleges and available intakes coming up?
Yeah, sure, Mankaresh. So we have a lot of options in NSW for IT programs, no matter it's certificates, diplomas, bachelors, or masters. We've got Torrance University, we've got Victoria University, we've got VIT College Victorian Institute of Technology, Melbourne Institute of Technology, Sydney campus. AIH College is also there. There are a few vocational providers are also who are offering certificates and diploma courses in IT. And intakes in terms of vocational providers, they usually have monthly intakes and intakes after every 2 months or 3 months period. And in terms of higher ed providers, the major intakes are either January, June, and then September, or March, July, and November. So I'll like to move to Priyanka to give the details in Melbourne.
Thank you, Ravina, for that. In terms of providers, I would say Melbourne and Sydney are mostly, they have the same providers. Let's start with the Masters and Bachelor courses. So when we talk about Masters and Bachelors in Victoria, we have got long list of providers. I would say almost all the universities have these IT courses. But I would name a few who are most popular among the students. Let's say Torrance University, Melbourne Institute of Technology, Victorian Institute of Technology, and CSU, Swinburne University, which has lots of streams in their IT courses. Also APIC and Holmes College and Kent Institute. So all of these providers have masters, have bachelor's degrees for sure. Some of them have masters as well. And talking about the diploma and the vocational side of IT courses, we have got Strathfield College, Stanford College, VIT, Imperial Institute, Altec. The list is again endless. So that is all for Victorian institutes, yes. If we talk about the intakes, major intakes for master and bachelors is mostly March, July, and there are few colleges and universities who provide November intake for these courses as well. So these are major three intakes for higher ed courses. But these days, due to this COVID times, and most of the colleges and universities are also providing a September intake, mid intakes, we call them. Let's say October intake. Let's say Kaplan has one September intake, and MIT is giving October intake, and Torrance University also has mid intake. Holmes also have it. So the endless number of providers which provide all these courses, and in between intakes as well. So upcoming intake is definitely October and November. So we're looking forward to have more students for IT. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Priyanka. Thank you so much. I'll take it. Guys, we are getting inquiries on our YouTube live channel as well. Parth, there's a question coming up for you from our YouTube channel. Mr. K.S. Rahman is asking, I'm going to finish my Masters of Business Information Systems, so MBIS, and going to apply my professional year. How do I certify my certificate through ACS?
Okay. Rahman, it's just that you will have to apply for provisional skills assessment through ACS. So when you refer to ACS website, they have multiple skill assessment options. One of them is a provisional skills assessment, which is what you will be required when you are applying for a professional year program. So it's just that it will be costing you $475 ACS fee, and they should be able to provide you outcome within a month of time, 1.5 months of time. So it's the term you are looking for is a provisional skills assessment. That is what you will have to apply through ACS portal. If you want our assistance with that, we can help you processing the skills assessment from our side as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Parth. Brahman, just for your information, Parth is based in Elizabeth Street office of Aussizz. So feel free to get in touch with Parth, and I'm sure he'll be able to help you. Coming back to our colleges and available intakes, Falguni, can you please tell us about South Australia?
Sure, Mangarish, thank you. With talking about the certificate and the diploma level courses, again, the frequency is almost once in 2 months, and we have a lot of providers here. And talking about higher education, of course, we have the public universities, that is University of South Australia, University of Adelaide, and Flinders University. Apart from that, we also have Torrens University, which are having major intakes, which is February, June, September, and November. So the next one which will be coming would be the November intake. And then we have Federation University. Talking about Federation University, they have been providing a lot of options when it comes to IT. Their intakes are usually March, July, and November. And we also have Kaplan Business School with us, which is exactly not an IT provider when it comes to, but they do have business analytics. So they have the graduate certificate, they have the master's degree, and they also have the graduate diploma. Now, I just quickly want to touch base on the different courses that are available here in Adelaide. So with Torrance University specifically, we do have the Diploma of Business Information Systems. We have the Bachelors of Business Information Systems. We have the Bachelors of Software Engineering, which has 3 specializations. So artificial intelligence would be one, the second one would be cloud computing, and the third one is gaming programming. We also have the Masters of Business Information Systems and the Masters of Software Engineering, which again has 2 specializations, which is artificial intelligence and cloud computing. Going back to Federation University, a lot of options for the bachelors. You have business information systems again, you have mobile app development, you have network and security, and you have software development. And the I think the most lovable option when it comes to the masters with Federation University, which is very common in students, is the Masters of Enterprise System and Business Analysts. So I think these are probably the most hot subjects and the courses that are available in Adelaide. I would like to go ahead with Naman to hear what Perth has to offer.
Thanks, Falguni. So speaking about the Perth for the colleges and the available intakes. I would like to start with the vocational level courses. So we certificate for diploma and advanced diploma. It's only in TAFE in Perth, and they have the 2 available intakes, February and then July. And the next we have Lead College and NIT College. They have an intake 3 months after every 3 months, and they have the diploma and advanced diploma of information technology and diploma and advanced diploma of cybersecurity. Now coming to bachelor level courses, we have ECU, Curtin, Murdoch, UWA, and Southern Cross University. So in ECU, Murdoch, and UWA, they have 2 intakes in a year, February and June, July. And in Southern Cross University, we have another 3rd intake as well, that's in October or November. So coming to now master's courses again available in ECU, Curtin, Murdoch, UWA, SU, and Kaplan. So in ECU, we have Masters of Management Information System. And in Curtin, we have Master of Commerce, specialization in Management Information System and Information Systems and Business. Murdoch, they have Masters of IT, and they have the 2 types of IT courses. One is for the known background, and other is for the which have the IT background. So those who have known background, they can start with the graduate diploma of IT, leading to 2nd year of Master of IT in Murdoch. In UWA, they have again Master of Business Information System. Now coming to SU, they have Master of IT. The next available intake is October, and the Master of IT in SU is just for the people who have background in IT. Now in Kaplan, we have Masters of Business Analytics, which is a combination of IT and management. Yeah, that's all about Perth. So moving to Manjeet now. Thank you.
Thank you, Naman. So I'm going to discuss about the IT courses available in the Brisbane and universities. So for IT, we have James Cook University and Torrens University for the bachelor and the master courses, and CSU, University of Sunshine Coast, and Fed Uni, Southern Cross University, and most of the universities have March, July, and November intake, and some of the universities have February and July intake only. And for the VET courses, we have colleges like SSBT and NIET and CTI. So they have diploma, advanced diploma of IT, and all the colleges have intakes in every month or every alternate month. And for bachelors, we have Bachelors of Information Systems in the Torrens University, and the Masters of Business Information System in Torrens University as well. And in James Cook University, they have combination of the course Master of Business Administration and Master of IT, which is the dual degree, and they have Master of IT as well. And they have Bachelor of IT, which can package with the college. They have their own college like Serena Russo, and you can do diploma leading to bachelor in the JCU. So I'm passing over to the Diksha for the Darwin.
Thank you, Manjeet. All right, guys. So about Darwin and Tasmania. I'll cover Darwin first. So we have colleges, different colleges like Australian Careers College, AIBT, Sydney City College Management. So these are basically which provides vocational courses, be it certificates, diplomas. Then we have the major public university in Darwin, which is Charles Darwin University, and they have all the IT related courses, be it bachelor's, master's. Also, Darwin offers, as we discussed, the MQP course, which is master's qualifying course leading to the masters. That is run by one of the Darwin provider, like CDU's provider, which is Up Education. We are also directly partnered with Up Education. So if you are interested to study the master's qualifying course or the diploma of IT leading to bachelor's or leading to master's degree, so you can definitely get in touch with us. So we can help you with that as well. Now, when it comes to Tasmania, again, there are different providers, Green Hill Education, Brighton Pacific, Australian Academy International, and Tasmania TAFE. So you can get in touch with us if you want to get enrolled in any of the certificates, diplomas in Tasmania. So we have all of these as direct partners. Again, Tasmania has a public university called University of Tasmania, and they also have Masters of Qualifying qualifying, the degree. If for again with the up education, same like CDU. So if you want to enroll in a master's pre-qualifying degree leading to a master's, you can definitely get in touch with us, and we can help you to enroll in that as well. That's it from Darwin and Tasvenia Magrish.
Thank you so much, Diksha. I'm coming back to Path. Path, we are still getting few questions on Facebook. Mr. Mahan Chantel is asking, any chances for 189 for IT in with 90 points? Is a recent graduate.
Yes, actually, applicants having 90 points have very good chances to get selected under 189 visa category, because applicants who are having 90 points, who has lodged their expression of interest EOI application in the month of January with 90 points, they are all selected by the department. And most likely from October round onwards, it looks like department will start inviting IT applicants and other people, other occupations as well. So looking at that, I think you have very good chances. However, it depends also on what date you have submitted your expression of interest. As I said, that people who applied in January, they have been invited. If you have lodged your expression of interest, say after 4-5 months of time, then you will have to wait for the who applied in between that 4-5 months with 90 points to get selected. Once they are selected, then you will be selected. And then other people who applied with 95 points, because you might have seen that after March invitation around March 2020, department haven't invited any applicants under IT category since March month. And that's where people who have scored 95 points or even higher after March, they are all waiting in the queue as well. So it may happen that when the department start inviting people in the month of October or November onwards, whenever it is, most likely October, then there might be people who are having 95 points will be invited first, and then department will start selecting people with 90 points. So then you might have to wait accordingly depending on when you have submitted your application. But then it looks like you have very good chances, because I can see that not many people were able to score 90 points, because it requires lots of things to be done. And secondly, because of the COVID, lots of PT centers were not available, and that's where you might have seen that in recent few months there might not be many applicants who might have scored 18 each, because that is very important factor in getting that 90 points. Like you get 20 points for having PT 79 or higher, and that's where I think there are not many people who might have undergone the PT or the other test, and that's where you might have lesser competition that way. But then you'll have to wait for upcoming rounds and see how department is selecting people, and then you'll get to know accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Path. Mahen, I hope we've answered your question. If you have further questions, feel free to get in touch. Path, before going to the next section, I have one more question for you. Vishal Yadav is asking chances of 190 with 95 points for business analyst.
Actually, you haven't stated which state you are looking into, because it depends on the state whether you are meeting the state's requirement. If you are not meeting the state's requirement, then no matter how many points you have, the state is not going to select you. So it depends on the state. Suppose if you are looking at Victoria state nomination, Victoria, we have seen that they have been asking for at least 3 years of experience under most IT occupations. For some occupations such as business analyst, Victoria is asking for 5 years of experience. So if you don't have that, no matter what you have 9,500 points, Victoria will not be selecting you. And then the person who will have the 5 years of experience or 3 years of experience who are meeting the state nomination requirement, they might be selected with even 80, 85 points, depends. If you look at some other states, if like you look at maybe Tasmania, Canberra, Northern Territory, that kind of states, they don't get that many applications, and that's where they may select applicant who might have even 60 points, the minimum points for 190 category. So it actually depends on the state, which state you are looking into. But I think you are, talking about either Victoria or New South Wales. For Victoria, it's pretty simple. If you don't meet that experience requirement, you won't be able to apply. And for New South Wales, for major occupations, New South Wales says that you require at least 1 year of experience in New South Wales in the relevant occupation to be eligible. If you have that, then you have very good chances. If you don't have that, then you might have to get skills assessment under some other occupations, which is part of New South Wales list and which does not have that 1 year of experience requirement. But then it actually depends on the state and the particular occupation. So you may contact me maybe later, and then I might assess your eligibility and I can advise you accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Path. Vishal, I hope we've answered your question. Now, coming back to education, guys, everybody is aware that, the whole world is going through pandemic. There are so many students who kind of, stuck in a financial crisis, financial need. Uh, at that point of time, scholarship is something which is going to help them immensely. Now, I'm sure that there are different sort of criteria when somebody apply for scholarship. So it's not like everybody applies for it and get it. So of course there are certain criteria different for every single college and university. Will not go too much into depth, but if we can just touch base on what sort of uh, scholarships are available in every single state, let's talk about that one. Ravina, starting from you from NSW, can you please tell us the scholarships which are available in there?
Sure, Mankarish. So we have a lot of scholarships here in NSW. We have Torrance University, who is offering 15% for the transferring students, and they can get up to 25% scholarship based on their academic score or IELTS or PT score if they are having the English score zero point 0.5 more than what they require. So based on those things, they can get up to 25% of scholarship. And in Victoria University, we have 20% scholarship for all the IT programs, no matter it's diploma, bachelors, or master's program. And in Southern Cross University also, we've got up to a 25% scholarship based case-to-case basis. And apart from that, we have women in STEM scholarship with AIH College. They are offering up to 20% scholarship for bachelor courses in information systems. And apart from that, we've got IIBIT Federation. They also have 25% scholarship with them. And yeah, that's all about NSW. I would like to go to Priyanka to give information about Melbourne.
Thank you, Ravina. In terms of scholarship, I would love to start with Swinburne University. Actually, Swinburne University is having this STEM scholarship going on for STEM courses. Talking about Master of Information Technology in Professional Computing, they have got only 12 units in there. And the scholarship that they are providing is 30%, which keeps the per semester fee around $9,000, which is like really very good opportunity for students to grab for. And their upcoming intake will be in November and February. So this is one of the scholarship I wanted to talk about. Another one, most of them Ravina has also talked about, is Torrance University, which is around 15 to 20% scholarship. And VIT is also offering 15% scholarship. Also, ATMC Fed Uni and MIT Fed Uni, they are all offering around 25% scholarship. Most of the scholarship are being provided for IT courses, yes. Apart from this, also there is one thing I would like to say here is most of the providers are accepting the one subject fee deposit for COE. So which is also very good point to be made here. And naming few will be Torrance. Kaplan is also giving 10% scholarship straight away without any merit. So that is all for Victoria. I would like to go to Falguni now, who can share about South Australia scholarships.
Thank you, Priyanka. So as Priyanka and Ravina both mentioned, Torrance University, for the transferring students, they're providing 15% scholarships, and there's another 10% scholarship which is based on your merit. So your previous study should be overall 65% and above, and at least 7 overall, and then you can be eligible for the Torrance University scholarship. Apart from that, with the Federation University, they are also providing up to around 20 to 25% scholarship. Again, that depends on the eligibility criteria, and the students need to be falling into that criteria. Again, with Kaplan, they initially they had this $750 off on the total, which was due to the COVID, because of the COVID situation around. And they are also providing up to 10% scholarships for the transferring students, and another 15% if you are eligible for the merit basis according to their eligibility criteria. That was pretty much it from Adelaide. I would like Naman to let us know about Perth a little more. Thank you.
Thanks, Falguni. So in WA, we don't have a number of options of scholarship. Yeah, but Murdoch at this moment is offering 20% off to both onshore and offshore students. And the next is the Kaplan. They are offering 10% scholarship based on the merit academic profile of the candidate. And the same in ECU, they are offering scholarship based on the overall academic profile of the candidate. So that's all about Perth. Yeah. Now passing over to Diksha.
Thank you, Naman. All right. So, guys, about Darwin and Tasmania, I'll cover. I'll say about Darwin first. So, usually, the certificates and the diplomas, they have like very competitive price. So they keep on changing their prices, and just make sure to tailor with the market. They've been changing the prices, so that's quite affordable. So you can come anytime and check with us about this. Also, I said that Up Education, who are offering like courses like Masters of pre-qualifying plus diplomas, they are offering good 20 to 25% scholarship. So if you want, you can come to us for that. Now, specifically about CDU, they have this time they have started a November intake. Usually they have only Feb and July intake, and for this specific November intake, they're offering 10% scholarship to all the students without any criteria. Only you have to do is qualify for the admission, and you get the 10% of the scholarship. But there are very limited seats available. So if you guys want to get that November intake scholarship of 10%, please go to the nearest office. Not you can't, like, apart from Melbourne, you can go to the other nearest office if you're in the other city like Sydney or Melbourne. Call your nearest office, and you can just let them know that you want to study in Darwin or you want to study in CDU, and you can avail that 10% scholarship if you qualify. Similarly, Tasmania, Up Education is there for the master pre-qualifying degree plus diploma, so they're offering same scholarship in Tasmania as well. So if you want to grab that, you can take that as well. That's it from my end. Back to you, Mangresh.
Thank you so much, Diksha. As we always fumbled that we hope and we think that Victoria is open. Unfortunately, we are not, but fingers crossed, we are going in the right direction. So hopefully we will open our offices soon. For those people who may thought that if we are talking from here and our offices are closed, that doesn't mean, guys, that we are not working. Everybody is working from home. As you guys know, we have 5 offices in Victoria itself, starting from Werribee, Thomastown. We have 2 offices in City, and we have an office in Clayton as well. So feel free to get in touch with any of the closest offices if you feel. All the numbers are of course available on our website, and down the line, when our offices are open, when we are allowed to go out of the curfew, you can definitely reach out to us in the office as well. So thank you so much, guys. Everybody's pretty much covered about education. Now, there are so many questions, Path, which I'm getting for 491 and 190. So can you please cover a few aspects before we closing down our session for today?
Sure, Mangiresh. Actually, we have seen that most of the students actually target 189 visa, skilled independent visa. However, you might have seen that in recent years, department have reducing the number of quota for 189 visa application. And that's where even though you try and score very high points, it might be difficult for you to get 189 visa, like the invitations. And I've seen that when you look at the quota given for 189 visas and then compared to the state-sponsored visa 190 and 491, you will see that the quota allocated for 190 and 491 program is much more higher than 189 visa. For that, I recommend that you should look at the state-sponsored visa, where state governments, they don't ask for high points. It's just that you might have to meet whatever the requirement for the state government. Different states have a different requirements. So you'll have to particularly target the state nomination requirements. I think that will be much more easier pathway than having the 189 visa. Now, about the state sponsored visas, it depends. There are 2 categories. One, the other is 491. For 190 visa, it's a straight away permanent residency, directly permanent residency. And that's where the state nomination requirements than 491 program. 491 program, it's a pathway to PR. It's a 5 years visa, regional visa, and 3 years you stay and work in regional area, and then you get PR. So it depends on the state though. Victoria and New really have a tougher requirement for the state nomination program, because there are lots of students studying in Victoria, and New South Wales. But if you look at other states, most of the states generally have a requirement that if you study there for a year, 2 years, or if you work there for 6 months or a year of time, they are happy to nominate you even with lesser points. So I think you should target the state nomination program that way. And even for the applicants who are living in Victoria or New South Wales, for some occupations, Victoria and New South Wales, they are sponsoring applicants with very less points. For Victoria 190 program, it's a bit difficult because they are asking for at least 2 years to 5 years of experience for most of the occupations. However, when you look at 491 program for Victoria, that is the easiest program available as of now compared to any other state, because Victoria, they says that no matter which state you are living in, if you can get a job in regional Victoria in the relevant occupation, Victoria is happy to sponsor any applicant living. It can be applicant living in Victoria or any other state. However, when you look at other states, they says that if you are living and then working or studying there in that state, then only they can sponsor you. So that way, Victoria is much more easier for any occupation Victoria is currently sponsoring. For other states, when you look at, suppose New South Wales, they have a list of occupation. So if your occupation is falling under that list, then only you can apply. It can be 190 or 491 program. They have a list. Victoria, they don't have any list for 491 program. So you can target that way. You can study something in which, if you think that getting a job offer in regional Victoria is easier, then you can target Victoria state sponsorship. Same way for New South Wales. Good thing with New South Wales is they are sponsoring people under 190 program without having any experience as well, for some occupations like trade occupations or maybe teachers, social workers. So for that kind of occupations, New South Wales have been selecting applicants with even 70 points by yourself, having 5 points from the state. And it may be possible that in future they select people having 65 points as well. However, you must have been living in New South Wales to be eligible. So it actually depends on the state. The points also depends on the state. Some states doesn't require, they don't focus on the points, they look at the commitment in that state. So if you can prove that your commitment to that state is higher than any other applicants, then your profile should be considered. So that's what I think you should target as of now, because targeting 189 visa requires most of the things like having PT and RT, having professional year program maybe in IT, and then even after that you score 19, you see there is a backlog of this 8-9 months people are waiting since January, and then you focus on having the job as well, 1 year of experience, which might take another time as well. So that's what I think you should look for, the state nominated visas. That is easier in terms of having, with less points you can apply.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Path. Thank you for that advice. I'm sure those people who had those questions, this is very relevant, guys. We tried our level best to get in touch and try to provide as much information as possible. If your questions are still not fulfilled, I'm sure because it's a specific kind of questions, and everybody's profile is different. So it's not really easy for us to kind of give the specific advice. We try to give you a generalized idea about 491, sorry, and 190. But in general, if you have any more questions, feel free to get in touch with us with any of our branches or offices. Girls, thank you so much for covering all the education side, and Path, thank you so much for coming along and giving so much information about migration. I hope that Victoria will get in touch with us through phone call. Have a good week, 2 weeks time. Thank you so much.